So in this video, I'm going to show you how to turn this type of light, an old fluorescent light, into one of these. Scroll, 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 scroll. One of those. That is the same light fixture, but with LED bulbs. So I'm going to show you how to swap out your old, ancient fluorescent bulbs for fancy new LED bulbs that consume a fraction of the power and put out more light and a better color of light too. Stand by. First step is to take your bulbs out. Then you have to take the fixture cover off. So on this one, there's a little snap, some kind of plug on this side that you just yank out, and that whole top comes out. So I'm just going to disconnect that thingy that holds this cover in. There we go. Cover comes down like so. Very easy so far, right? Now you're going to start working in the darkness. Let's get you guys a little bit closer. See what's going on. About like that. So that long rectangular thing is your ballast. That's responsible for starting your LED lights. So first off, you got to make sure that you have, at least for these particular LEDs, you have single-ended, non-shunted ballasts. I'm sorry, tombstones. These are the tombstones here. So what does that mean? It means that the two pins in the tombstone cannot be connected together. So you see how there's two wires coming out of this tombstone here, two wires come out of this one. Highly likely this is not a shunted tombstone, but we're going to verify that. I'm going to show you how. First, cut these wires because we don't need them. Just like so. You're also going to cut the other set of wires coming out of the ballast because you don't need those. Snip. I'm going to cut the incoming power wire going into the ballast. Now we can remove the ballast entirely. Usually held on with one screw. This one is. This ballast is a GE Pro. I'm just undoing that screw and the ballast should fall out shortly. Like so. Alright. Now, let's test your tombstones. Refocus you guys a little bit. There we go. That's probably better. You can see a little bit better. Now I'm going to take my multimeter and my wire strippers. I'm going to set the multimeter on continuity and I'm going to strip the wires coming from one of these tombstones. I'm going to pick the blue wires. You can pick the red ones, it doesn't really matter. I'll strip a little bit of wire off the end here. Come on. I think it's time for new wire strippers. Getting kind of dull. There we go. It's a tough wire. Come on, jeez. Okay. Like I said, we're going to set our meter on continuity. That is to check for an electrical connection between these two wires. The meter beeps. This is a shunted ballast. Means we have to, I'm sorry, a shunted tombstone. That means we have to replace it. Or at least rewire it. So, we got both of our leads hooked up. There is no continuity on the meter. The meter is not beeping. So these are non-shunted tombstones. That's perfect. Exactly what we want. So now, we're going to strip the other two wires here. In this case, they are red. I put my meter firmly on a table before I drop it, break it. So I've stripped all four leads. And I guess I should tell you, the reason why you can't use shunted tombstones is because these two wires would be tied together. If that was the case, and you hooked up power, you could cause a dead short because the LEDs that we have are single-ended which means that they're only powered from one end. So if you short line to neutral, you cause a dead short. I guess it might be kind of hard to hook it up in that way because there's only one wire, but even still, either nothing's going to work or you're going to cause a short circuit. So now we have all 4 wire ends stripped. I'm going to connect the blue from one of them, right, to the red from the other one. So I'm creating a parallel circuit here. I'm going to twist these wires together with my linesman pliers. Get yourself a set of these. If you do any electrical work, you'll thank me later on. So I'm just twisting these 2 wires together to create a really nice strong connection. Snip off the extra. I'm going to do the same thing with the other 2 leads here. I'm going to twist them together. Again, to create that nice strong connection. Snip off the extra. Now, what we have is we have 2 tombstones on the powered side that are tied together. Okay? Now we got to hook those 2 sets of wires up to the power wires, which are right here. The black is the hot, the white is the neutral. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick one set of these. It doesn't matter. Well, first we've got to strip the power wires. This is 14 gauge coming in here, which is pretty standard wiring in the United States for lighting. Like so. I'm going to take one set, again, doesn't matter. Hook one set up to the black wire. Again, I'm twisting it together with my linesman pliers. Like so. Snip off any extra. I take the other set. Twist it to the white wire with my linesman pliers. Like so. Now I'm going to get 2 wire nuts. I'm going to use 2 yellows. I'm just going to cap off those exposed connections there. And please, for the love of all that is holy, use high quality wire nuts. Go to Home Depot or Lowe's and get a pack of ideal wire nuts. Won't cost you much. They'll come in very handy around the house. I normally throw away the wire nuts that come with any appliance that I'm buying. So tighten those on really tight. Whoops, this came loose. Probably not enough wire there. Let's strip off a little bit more neutral wire and twist it again. Sure it's nice and secure. Not that lighting is a terribly high current, especially LED lighting, but we can make a good connection, why not, right? Obviously when you're doing this, make sure anybody else in the house is not flicking light switches on and off. You get a nasty surprise. That's better. Put your wire nut on there. Like so. Make sure they're good and tight. And just fold these wires back in here. Now, on the other end, the yellow wire, or at least in this case, the yellow wires that you cut, I'm just going to cap those off. You might not need to. It depends upon what kind of bulb you have. So those yellow wires that are dangling there, I'm going to cap those off with some small wire nuts. Alright, so we're going to go up on our ladder here. Just cap these off. Odds are pretty strong that if you have single-ended bulbs, you don't really need to do this. There's probably no current flowing through here, but I think it's just good practice to do so. I don't like leaving exposed wiring unterminated. It's just a pet peeve of mine. So those are wire nutted off, they're secured. Now we're going to put the cover back on. I'm just going to snap that back into place. Okay, now that you have your cover put on, it's safe to turn on the lights. If you turned off any lights to work on this fixture, so I'm going to go ahead and do so now so we have better lighting. Okay, we got to get a little bit more light to work with now, so I'm going to go ahead and install the actual light bulbs. Now keep in mind the lights have, at least these lights have, power end and a non-powered end, so you got to pay attention to that. Now these bulbs, these are pretty nice ones, they're labeled. You get these bulbs on Amazon, 40 bucks or so for a 4-pack. And you can see the AC side is labeled. Of course the camera won't focus, but can't see it, but it says AC input right there. So the AC input side should go to the side, well, it should go to the side that you didn't cap off. So in my case, it's this one over here. I took off both caps, yes. So we'll put the dead end in first, and we'll put the live end in, and then simply rotate. Just like you would any other bulb. Pretty cool, huh? So now in doing this, you get more light, you generate less heat, you save energy. So these bulbs also last longer. You don't have ballast to deal with, it's simpler. The bulbs are more expensive, yes, but I think it's worth it. What do you think? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video that shows you how to convert one of your traditional fluorescent light fixtures into an LED light fixture. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe and stay safe. Thanks for watching.